Blake Lively became a household name with the iconic mid-2000s TV show Gossip Girl's Serena Woodsen. Blake immediately became one of the breakout stars of the series, which lasted for 6 seasons. In most interviews, Blake made sure to let everyone know that she was nothing like her character Serena, a spoiled party girl. But others rarely thought the same way. In 2008, Star magazine published an article on Blake Lively and her attitude behind the scenes of Gossip Girl. The 21-year-old is the most catered to on the set of the show and has become prone to throwing childish tantrums when things don't go her way. This isn't it. She's the only one who has someone call her every morning to wake her up for work. She's already had 2 production assistants fired because she didn't like them. I mean, with an attitude like that, you shouldn't be surprised to learn that Blake has made some enemies throughout her career in Hollywood, and no doubt the first one is Leighton Meester. According to Star magazine's insiders, Blake went postal on the Gossip Girl costume department because co-star Leighton Meester has been given more exciting storylines playing Blair than Blake has as Serena. The sources claim that Blake kept whining and saying, "How come Blair gets to have all the fun parties?" Apparently, this has caused a great rift in the two's relationship, and even though their characters were best friends on screen, the actors were never that close. One source claimed that the enmity between them forced the other actors to choose a side. While Chase Crawford seemingly stuck close to Leighton, Penn Badgley hung out with Blake. This shouldn't be a surprise since Penn and Blake dated each other for 3 years while filming Gossip Girl. More sources backed up the rumors about the bad relationship between the co-stars. Harper's Bazaar reported that Leighton thought Blake was an egomaniac. Even Blake's publicist talked about the issue and basically confirmed the two's problems. They have never been best friends and never professed to be. Blake goes to work, does her job, and goes home. That's another way of saying they don't like each other. The show's executive producer Joshua Safran spoke to Vanity Fair a few years after the show's end and commented on the differences between the two actors. Joshua said that Blake and Leighton have completely different personalities. While Blake is more outgoing, Leighton is more reserved. Leighton was very removed and very quiet, and after her scenes were done, she would wander the stage. Joshua concluded that Blake and Leighton were not friends. They were friendly, but they were not friends like Serena and Blair. Leighton was not the only member of the Gossip Girl cast that had issues with Blake Lively. Armie Hammer, who had a short-lived stay on Gossip Girl in season 2, also butted heads with Blake. Years after his short appearance on Gossip Girl, Armie was a guest on Andy Cohen's Watch What Happens Live, where he was asked who was the biggest diva on the set of Gossip Girl. Armie's answer was very telling. While mentioning how tough it was to film the show, he also added, "I didn't end up actually filming all the episodes I was supposed to because it was so tough." And then Andy Cohen and the other guest, Chelsea Handler, figured out he was talking about Blake Lively.
Literally, you said, "Get me out of this."
It was also like, get him out of here. Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah.
So it just literally was that. Whose love interest were you?
I was Blake Lively's love interest.
You were?
Yeah.
Okay, well then.
Sounds like she was the problem.
It sure does, Chelsea.
However, you should know that there are other accounts on this subject. One source claims that Armie actually called Blake an insufferable bitch during a dinner scene, and that's why he was kicked off the show. I mean, Armie has been in the midst of worse controversies, having been publicly accused of sexual assault and cannibalism. So it's up to you to believe his account. But Blake also has a bad reputation outside of Gossip Girl. Anna Kendrick is one of the many other people she might have had problems with.
I can't be a Disney princess ever.
Oh, Muffin, it's so hard being you.
No, but like I really would really like to be a Disney princess.
I'm sure that dream will come true.
I'm sure there's
because a dream
Disney...
is a wish your heart makes.
These two first appeared in a movie together called A Simple Favor. And during the press tour for the movie, many rumors started to come out about their relationship.
So rumor has it that by the end of A Simple Favor, Blake Lively and Anna Kendrick were not speaking. They were basically enemies and their press tours had to be booked separately. So my question is, what do you think went down and whose fault do you think it is? On the one hand, Blake Lively famously did not get along with her other co-star, Leighton Meester, so that's points off for Blake. But I've also heard that Anna Kendrick is disrespectful and rude to waiters, bartenders, and fans.
After this video, the same user received a message from an anonymous source who was allegedly working for Lionsgate at the time. They said that Blake and Anna hated each other. Anna in particular was really competitive with Blake and was constantly asking to make sure she got more promotion than Blake, and even made us Photoshop her cleavage in the Simple Favor poster to be as big or bigger than Blake's. During the press tour, these two appeared together in so many interviews, but people believe that it's because the studio obligated them to do so. They had to act like friends. Although watching most of their interviews, it looks like they're teasing and making fun of each other, not in a bad way. Some of their interviews do signal some kind of a feud between them though, especially when you look at their body language. Like in one, Anna kept correcting whatever Blake was saying, and Blake obviously didn't like that.
Smooth as pie. It should be smooth as silk or whatever.
Easy as pie.
Yeah,
Right.
and smooth as silk. But my mom, I think, is a very confident person, and so for me, yeah, I sort of like struggled with that because I've sometimes judged her for being so confident.
In the same interview, Anna even implied that she muted Blake on Instagram.
I've muted some people. Now that it's a function on Twitter and Instagram, there's a couple people that I have muted.
Good.
Yeah.
Do you think they had a feud? Well, apparently they shot A Simple Favor 2 a few months ago, so they were back together, which means whatever was going on between them, it wasn't an obstacle to shoot an entire movie together. And if we're lucky, we'll get more precious interview moments like this one.
I met Blake. I worked with her husband Ryan several years ago, so I met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
Got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
Yeah. We got the body language experts analyzing this right now. How quickly do you...
Don't touch me.
The next person on the list is Scarlett Johansson, but she never actually starred opposite Blake in any project. Their feud is a result of something entirely different. Before Blake and Ryan Reynolds got together, Ryan was married to Scarlett. In fact, Ryan and Blake met on the set of Green Lantern, while Ryan and Scarlett were still married. And during that time, Blake was still dating Penn Badgley. Kat Marnell, a New York Times bestselling author and writer for magazines like Vice and Glamour, dropped a bombshell on Twitter. Fun fact, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds hooked up when Ryan was still married to ScarJo and holed up in a NOLA hotel room during the Green Lantern. Marnell also claimed that both Ryan and Blake's reps squashed the story as they didn't want to be known as cheaters. The timeline of Ryan and Blake's relationship is not clear, but they officially started dating after Ryan and Scarlett filed for divorce, and Blake also had a short relationship with Leonardo DiCaprio. But many sources report that Ryan might have cheated on Scarlett with Blake during the filming period of Green Lantern, and that's why Scarlett doesn't like Blake and doesn't want to see her anywhere. According to Life and Style magazine, Scarlett and Blake do everything to avoid each other on New York City's small social scene. Since they both live in New York and attend similar events and red carpets for museums or charities, it's a careful dance to make sure they are not at the same place. Despite this, Scarlett didn't really say anything bad about Ryan. She only implied in one interview that Ryan couldn't handle her level of fame and success, and the fact that she was becoming more successful than him. The logistics of being with another actor are challenging. There has to be a real understanding of how you share your time, especially when two people's careers are going at the same rate. Or even if one person is more successful than the other, that also proves challenging. There may be a competitive thing. Do you think there was also cheating involved? Leonardo DiCaprio. You might not have expected to hear this name among the others, but it's real. As I mentioned, Leo and Blake dated for a few months before Blake and Ryan got together. In fact, they had a weird relationship. According to Joshua Safran, Blake had this thing where she had a doll that she took photos of that she sent to Leo. So she sent pictures of dolls to Leo, and I'm not sure whether that's cute or creepy. Yet this is not why Leo might have had problems with Blake. Some sources claim that Leo actually proposed to Blake, being very much in love with her, and that Blake wasn't ready for that commitment, and that's why they broke up. Honestly, knowing Leo's record, I don't believe this one bit, but do share your thoughts in the comments. And finally, Justin Baldoni, It Ends With Us lead actor and director. Hints about a potential feud between him and Blake started when they were both attending the movie premiere. Even though these two posed on the red carpet and gave interviews, they never did it together. They always stood separately and never did joint interviews. Blake was always paired with other cast members despite the fact that Justin is her co-lead. And then it turned out Blake, Ryan, and other cast members had unfollowed Justin on social media. Some say that the problems happened because Blake and Ryan interfered too much with the script when it wasn't their place to do so. Some others say that Justin allegedly asked Blake's on-set trainer how much Blake actually weighed before they were supposed to shoot a scene where he had to lift her. It's known that Justin has a history of back issues, so his side reports that he wanted to know to be prepared, but apparently Blake felt fat-shamed because it was just a few months after she gave birth to her 4th child. Now, Justin openly says that he doesn't want to direct a sequel and believes Blake is better for the job, which indicates that he was bothered by Blake's too much interference with the script.
We do have It Starts With Us, so I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think. So, yeah.
If you want to find out more about Blake Lively and her past issues, check out this video.